And you don't seem to understand. A shame you seemed an honest man. And all the
Hi guys, it's Wilma. Welcome to my video. Today I wanted to show y'all the process of a self-portrait that I made. I started this painting back in June and I finished it in September. It's been 2 months, I think, since I finished it, maybe a little bit less than 2 months. And I just wanted to show y'all the process. It was a very challenging piece and there was a lot of ups and downs, and that's why I enjoy sharing these art videos, because it's kind of hard to realize how much work goes into art when you're just seeing like a finished photo on Instagram. I usually have like a bigger project each year that I work on, and by bigger I don't mean big in size, I mean big in time and effort, and this was my big project for the year. It didn't take me 4 months to finish it because I was traveling and working in between the months that I was making this, but it did take me quite a long time to do this, and I just wanted to share that process with you, both because I really love the painting and also just to like show, I guess, what goes into it. I don't know. I should probably stop talking. But yeah, I really hope that you'll enjoy this video, and yeah, we're gonna get into it. Alright, so when I first started this painting, I had all the hope and I was so excited to start a new painting. I was excited to paint, I was excited about the sketch. I don't know, I just had a lot of expectations and I thought that the process was gonna be great and that the piece was gonna be great, and it did turn out great in the end, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. So at the beginning of the painting, as I said, I was very excited. I was like, this is gonna be such a good piece, I'm gonna have so much fun, and it's pretty interesting how it's like I never learn in a way that painting is freaking hard. I've been painting for years now, and I don't think I started using color in my art until like 2018 maybe. So I've been painting for maybe like 4 or 5 years, which is kind of a lot, but in the grand scheme of things maybe it's not that much. But what I was gonna say is that it's like I never learned the fact that art is a struggle. And well, I do learn, but I kind of forget about it. And so when I started the painting, I kind of just like ignored the fact that the painting was probably gonna be a struggle, which obviously you have to think positive when you're starting out a painting. Like, you can't go into it and be like, oh, this is gonna be so hard and I don't know how I'm supposed to do this. Like, obviously you have to have a good mindset to be able to pull it off. But you also have to be realistic and remember that things take time and effort, and I'm sure I was aware of that, but I was just very optimistic in the beginning and I was just so excited to paint this, and I thought it was going great in the beginning, and then I faced some struggles. So the main thing that I struggled with, I think there was like 2 main things that I struggled with in this painting. We're gonna start with the first one, which was the proportions. I literally struggle with this, I feel like every single time I make art. There's a few exceptions where I don't really have this struggle, and I'm not sure how that happens. Maybe I just like have a really good day and I don't have to struggle with that, but usually proportions is something that I struggle a lot with. And I actually, when I did the sketch for this painting, I was using a projector, which I've done for one other piece, and it's not like I can't do a piece without that. Like, I really don't need it, except for the fact that I am pretty bad at drawing things at a larger scale. I've done a few in the past, like nothing huge, but most of my art pieces are kind of small. And that's how I've been doing art for so long. And so when I try to do larger pieces, I'm like, how do I even do this? And so I used a projector for this piece, and I was so excited because I got the sketch to look all good, obviously because I had help. And so I thought I was gonna be fine with the proportions, but you can still not rely on, like, obviously it makes it easier. There's so many benefits, like you basically get a lot of stuff for free, but still you have to do so much of the work yourself. Like, it's not like you're gonna get everything for free just because you have a good sketch, but it helps, obviously. But I think because I did that, I was like, oh, this should be easy, like I just have to basically fill in the colors, you know. But no, that did not happen. I still, even though I had a projector, I struggled with the proportions, and I think it's not because the sketch was bad, obviously. It's because doing shading in acrylic paint is pretty difficult, because I paint very smoothly with acrylic paint, and that's very difficult. It would probably be a lot easier to kind of do the transitions and everything that I was trying to do with oil paint. I've never really used oil paint, but I would assume so. So that was my first, well, I guess my first two struggles, that I was struggling with proportions, and then I was also just struggling with acrylic paint. But then another thing is that I struggled with the chest area on me. I was trying to blend that for so long. It did not go well at all. Well, it did in the end, but not for a while. Like, I had to spend a few days just on my chest area to like get the right transition with the colors to blend them smoothly. And then because I was blending all of my colors on my own, it was really difficult to get the shades right, and so every time I would like start over on a new day, I had to blend the colors again, and then I just had to like redo the whole thing over and over again until I got something that I was satisfied with. And also, when I do use acrylic paint, I only use, well, not only, I actually do use some colors that are already mixed, but I usually use primary colors. So I use the yellow, red, and blue, and then I'll use like a burnt sienna and a raw umber. And then lately I've been doing some like pastel colors, like a purple and a blue. But yeah, so I blend my own colors, and it was really difficult to like get back to the painting and then have to blend all the colors correct again. And obviously you can never get them to look the same, and so you kind of have to start over. So maybe that's why it takes me months. Maybe I should just like buy some colors that I don't have to mix myself. But I enjoy mixing my own skin colors, so yeah. Anyway, but yeah, the painting was looking a little bit rough. There were some stuff in my face that just looked so off, and doing portraits is so difficult, and especially the reference photo that I was using was a very complicated photo. There was a lot of light and shadow, and like a lot of light and shadow that was not really natural, if that makes sense. Like in the reference photo, I'm holding a candle, and so the light from the candle is kind of like shining up on my face, but then I also had a light coming from the side, and there was just a lot going on. It was just very difficult. And when I added the hair, I was like, oh my god, this looks actually horrendous. But I mean, I figured it out eventually. But yeah, it was quite a struggle. It's usually like in the beginning, I'm so hopeful and so excited, and you know, you're so excited about the potential of it, and then you're in it and you're like, oh no, this is not fun. And so I had quite a lot of art sessions that were not fun and just like pure agony. But yeah, anyway, we're gonna pause for a little bit and jump to when I was in the process of making this painting. Hi, okay, I thought that I would do a clip to update y'all. I'm currently, I don't know how long I've been working on this. I think I started it in June. Then I didn't really make any art for July, so it's currently August. It's like the beginning of August, and I just finished my art session for today with working on this, and it's looking pretty good. I am struggling with the proportions, as I do. That's like what happens every single time, and I feel like I can't escape it. But whatever, it's like, it's very frustrating because it can be hard to nail the proportions, and I'm such a perfectionist, and I need it to like look perfect. Like, I need it to be, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, but overall I think it's going pretty well. Besides for the proportional stuff, I think it's going good. Like, I think so, who knows? But I'm enjoying it, except for today, because I got a little bit stressed when it wasn't going my way 100%. Like, it's not like I'm used to it going my way 100%, because sometimes I'll literally work on pieces for months just to like fix the proportions. So it's not like I'm not used to it, but I haven't been making a lot of art lately because I was traveling and working a lot. So yeah, it's not giving me like a warm welcome, but that's okay because I am in control. The painting does not control me. I control the painting. Anyway, I feel like I'm losing my mind a little bit too much right now, so I'm gonna go home for today and come back maybe tomorrow and keep working on it. But yeah, I guess it's going kind of good. Like, I don't know. Okay, that's my update. All right, so I think I lost a few clips, but the painting is looking better now. I basically just from this point on was fixing some stuff with the face, and then I still had the lower body left, or not lower body, but like my chest and arms and stuff. But yeah, as you can tell, I just kept on trying to blend my chest, and that just like it was so frustrating, but eventually I figured it out. Anyway, I honestly love looking back at my art process. It's very interesting because when I was in the art process, like obviously I did enjoy it, and I even said in the clip that you just saw that I was having fun, even though in the voiceover I was like, oh, it's not fun. But I definitely had a lot of fun with this painting as well. It's just when you're doing something so detailed, and I think that this is my most detailed acrylic portrait, it just takes such a I don't know what I'm trying to say. It takes a lot of effort, and to be able to get every single thing right, especially with light and shadow, and there's like such small details that can make a huge difference, and so it takes so much focus. I think that's what I was trying to say. It takes so much focus, and so a lot of the time it's just like very hard work, and so when I look back at it, I'm like, oh, that was not fun. But it's just because you have to be so focused all the time, and the smallest of details can make a huge difference. And yeah, but I definitely am very happy with the results of the painting, and I definitely also did have a lot of art sessions that were enjoyable. And I made this in a time where I wouldn't say I was struggling with it, but I felt like the world was kind of testing my patience, and so I was like, oh, well, what better way to test my patience than to make a painting that's gonna take me months, that will kind of drive me insane. So yeah, obviously the painting took me months to complete, and it can be very difficult to stay motivated sometimes with that stuff, but at the same time it's always so worth it in the end, and that's kind of what keeps you going. The fact that one day you'll be able to look at this finished piece and be proud of yourself for what you accomplished. And I think that's like the biggest thing that usually pushes me forward and pushes me to finish the piece, because when you're struggling, you're like, well, I could just give up. Like, why am I still doing this, you know? But then you have to think of yourself in the future, finishing it and being proud of yourself. And you're like, okay, I'm probably gonna keep going with this. And as I was talking about earlier with me being a perfectionist, this is kind of a topic that I've kept bringing up. But when you are a perfectionist, you could literally work on one piece of art forever, and you kind of just have to get to a point where you're like, okay, I could keep going, but I'm not going to, because it's good enough, like I can leave it here. And that can be really difficult when you are a perfectionist, because you could work on details forever. And so I've really had to learn that throughout the years of making art, that at some point you just gotta stop, and you can't be so picky with everything, because you're never gonna be fully satisfied, and that's just something that you have to come to terms with. And I think doing pieces like this that takes a few months, it teaches you so much. It teaches you how to have patience. It teaches you a lot about obviously the technique that you're using. You learn so much, and it also teaches you that at some point you just have to leave it alone and not work on it any further, even though you could. Of course you could work on it for another couple of months, but you have to kind of leave it for your own sanity. At least for me, if I was still working on this painting to this day, I would not be very happy. Hi. Today is September 22nd and I am hoping to be able to finish this today. I think that the only thing that I really have left is to do the arm a little bit here. I have to lighten up one of my hands and then I think the face is done. I might do a little bit more detail to the hair. It's not really necessary, but I might just because like I'm a perfectionist and I'm gonna want to do details. I'm gonna change the background, might make it a little bit darker. And then the final touch is that I might add some text to the painting, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that yet. But yeah, I'm gonna try to finish it today. Probably gonna take the whole day, so that's the plan. See ya. This is just me adding the final details to the painting. I ended up lightening the background at first, and then I think I made it darker again. But yeah, I'm very happy with how the painting turned out. It was definitely quite a journey to paint this, but I am very glad that I did it and I'm happy that I didn't give up. Because I honestly think that this is one of my favorite paintings that I've done. I also added a text to the painting, which you'll see in a second, but it basically says time is of great essence, and I don't know if that's like an actual saying. There is a saying that goes time is of the essence, and I think I heard that when I was watching Bridgerton a few months back, and I was like, oh, I want to use that for my painting. And it basically means like time is important, like you have to do things in due time or whatever. I think so. I mean, I could be totally wrong, but yeah. And that's kind of what I was talking about earlier. When I was making this painting, I felt like there was a lot of things testing my patience and I felt like I didn't have any time, and turns out I did actually have a lot of time. And so yeah, I don't really know where I was going with that, but that was basically like my thought behind the text. And that's pretty much it. I finished it and I was like, I love this painting, but I'm so happy to be done with it. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed watching this video and I hope you liked the painting. I love it, as I've said. And yeah, that's about it. I hope you all will have a great day and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye!